Brandon. Good to talk to you. Hope you're doing well. Let's just start with your perspective on the last few weeks and, your personal experience about fighting this virus.
Yeah, it's been, it's crazy times. What can you say? This whole process, I think over the last year has pretty much been learning something new every day. And we're all kind of adjusting on the fly and doing what we can. Obviously, a situation came up where, some of us got it, and there's nothing, looking back, there's not much you can do to, other than what we've been doing protocol wise, the things that BC Health put in place for us, the things the NHL and NHLPA put in place for us to be successful. I felt like we did a pretty good job. And at the end of the day, this is a, worldwide pandemic that got a hold of us. And luckily now we're kind of seeing some light at the end of the tunnel with it. I think everyone's feeling a lot better. And myself personally, I had it. My wife had it. My two kids had it. Luckily, the kids were they passed it with flying colors. They were feeling good all the way through. So, I think when I first tested positive, that was my biggest concern. My wife's 23 weeks pregnant. My daughter's just about 4. My son's 2. So, when I first got it, just that, I guess, a little bit of fear, stress kind of sets in that you're going to give it to them and not sure how they're going to react to it. But to be honest, I definitely had it the worst out of the 4 of us, and everyone's doing well now. So glad it's done and glad we're moving forward.
How do you feel right now coming out of it, and what's this challenge going to be like as you guys step back on the ice? Maybe not all of you 100% yet and have to play 19 games in 32 days here starting tomorrow.
Yeah, it's going to be a challenge, no question. Everyone knows that. There's no secret there. But I think, over the last, and again, I got to be honest, these last 48 hours, the extra 2 days we got is huge. I think everyone feels way more comfortable now than they did 2 days ago. There's no denying that. So I think it's, we put ourselves in a position now to at least come back healthy and give ourselves a chance. And I'm pretty proud of us as a group and of the NHL to make changes for us, because it was something we needed, and you can just see the difference in guys' faces now, myself included. Just having a couple days to kind of find yourself again, finally feel like I'm over it.
Next up is Ian McIntyre.
It's good to see you, Brandon. I think there's probably value in people understanding how bad this was medically. Would you mind taking us to sort of your lowest point and just sort of describe the symptoms you had and what you were going through when it was at its worst?
Yeah, I think I really lost track of my dates here, but I guess I'll say that the morning I first tested positive, found out later in the day. It was kind of through the night that night. I mean, it pretty much just felt like you had a bad flu. I had the kind of the sweats in the middle of the night and the fever and headache, and just felt crappy for probably about the first 24 hours was really rough, where you really don't want to leave your bed. You're kind of just laying around. Day 2, I felt better for sure, but same thing, just kind of headaches and body aches, things like that. By the 3rd day, most of that stuff was done. So that was where I kind of started turning the corner a bit. From that point on, had a sore throat for about a week. But just so fatigued and tired all the time. That was the hardest part, was you just couldn't really, as soon as I moved around too much, I'd feel lightheaded, and just something different than you pretty much got 10 different symptoms from the same virus. So just something different that we never really had before. After about 10 days, I definitely felt like I was kind of through it. And then it took another few days just for it to, little bits and pieces to leave. So, hey, it's a crazy thing. I mean, it's something, like I said, you've never felt before, different symptoms you thought you'd feel. And I feel pretty lucky that I came out of it pretty good. And obviously very thankful that my kids and my wife are feeling good now too. So luckily we're through it now, like I said. Some guys on the team had it far worse than what I had. And some guys obviously felt a little bit better. But that's the thing about this virus. You find out everyone's got completely different varying symptoms of what they feel and how they feel now, how they felt 2 weeks ago. Very unpredictable. So again, I'm just thankful that we're doing all we can to prevent it, and unfortunately it just got a hold of us.
You've probably heard or researched some of the early long-term effects, the long haulers of COVID-19. There's even less known about the P1 variant. In the back of your mind, is there some fear or uneasiness about, what next week or next month or next year might look like after you've been through this?
No, not really. I feel like I'm kind of through it now. Again, I think some guys on day 6 felt like they were through it, and then day 10 came around. So it's just, that's unpredictable. But I feel like right now I've definitely, like I said, even from a couple days ago, I feel a lot better. So, I mean, everything that the doctors and everyone's been telling us is, it's just a virus. It's just got to run its course, and then you'll feel better. So you got to trust the professionals, and they're the ones we're listening to, and I feel confident that I'm finally through it.
Okay, we'll go now to Patrick Johnson.
Brandon, much has been made of what JT said on Wednesday. Do you think you guys would have had the schedule changed without him speaking out like he did?
Well, yeah, I think when we, that day, let's be honest, I didn't know anything about the interview stuff. We were just talking as a group text about, how we're all feeling. And that was the first day that some guys had skated, and everyone was kind of like, guys, like, I don't know about this. And at that point I hadn't skated yet. I think it was the next day. It was my first day on the ice. And I was kind of, at that time we were like, we got to talk to someone and just see what they're saying. And then I went to the rink later that day, actually, I think, and I skated, and right away I was like, 24 hours from now, I don't think I'm ready to play a game. And or 48 hours, I guess maybe it was. So I think as players, as a group, we started talking about it. And then the next day I'd found out that, Millsy had the interview with you guys, and kind of went through it all, how we were all doing. So there was a lot of things that kind of went into it. I think when the schedule first came out, looking at it, I think it was probably the 4th, 5th day where I was feeling so good. And I was kind of, taken aback a little bit, but I was like, well, at least by then I'll be feeling better. And then by day 10, I realized that that probably wasn't going to be realistic to be playing at that point. So I'm proud that we collaborated a bit and talked about it. And, we just kind of felt like it was the right thing to do. So, we're past it now. And I think our schedule now, like I said, those 2 days were huge for us. Guys are feeling a lot better, a lot more confident. Obviously, it's still going to be a bit of a challenge, but I'm just happy we got those extra 2 days.
Just being back on the ice after having been off the ice for 2 weeks can't be easy for any athlete, but to have to go through a respiratory illness on top of that, how challenging has it been each day, since you got back on the ice on Wednesday and Thursday?
Yeah, it's been tough. Again, first day, you feel like it's kind of your first skate of the off season, pretty much. I mean, 2 weeks off of nothing. Sometimes we get the Olympic break years or All-Star break years, but usually you're still working out a little bit through those breaks and feeling a little bit better. Then you get 5 days of practice usually with Olympic break. So this was something different where we were kind of thrown back in, and we all obviously had, a lot of guys were, lost weight and just dealt with the whole illness of it. So, yeah, it was challenging, but I think today was a lot better. I think our pace was really good in practice. We had a good skate, and you can just see guys are turning the corner and starting to get some energy back. So, like I said, we're in a much better position now than we were 2 days ago.
Next is Gemma Carson-Smith.
Thanks for doing this. I'm wondering if while you're off and ill, if you watched any video or did anything to kind of stay sharp and on top of the game mentally?
To be honest, no. When I was at home, it was pretty much just worrying about stuff away from hockey. There was no point where I was feeling low, where I was worried about the details of the hockey game. I think those are things that you do once you get kind of moving back to the rink and stuff. And we had a really good meeting today and went through kind of everything just kind of as a refresher for everyone. And it's kind of important to do that. So no, I definitely didn't spend much time thinking about it when I was at home. I was definitely more concerned about other things, but having a couple of days to skate, you kind of get back in the frame of mind and feel ready to go.
And how do you get back up to speed? Like you were saying, you had a meeting today. How do you get back up to speed mentally to play a game against the top ranked team in the division tomorrow?
Yeah, well, I think it's obviously they're a good team. I mean, I think at this point, having that time off, I don't think it matters, who your opponent is really. Every player in the league is a good player and every team's a good team. And the pace is going to be high no matter who you're playing. I think playing the Maple Leafs on any night is a challenge right now. It doesn't matter if you're playing at the best of your game or coming off a long break. So it's going to be a tough game, and they got a good team. So we'll have to be sharp right from the get-go, and may as well get right back into the fire and get playing and see what we can do.
Okay, we'll take a couple more here. We'll go to Jay Janauer.
Brandon, it's good to see you back coming on the road to recovery. Having listened to what you've said, on a scale of 1 to 10, how crappy was it? I mean, you said it was crappy, like from what you've had in the past from flus and viruses, because there's still a lot of people out there who think it's not that serious. But on a scale of 1 to 10, how would you rate the severity of what you went through?
To be honest with you, I would say the worst of my symptoms was, like I said, the first maybe 36 hours. In those 36 hours, I mean, it wasn't the worst thing I've ever felt by any means. You just felt, like I said, it felt like you just had a crappy flu, but you had 6 symptoms instead of having 1 or 2. So that was the weird thing. And then just the fatigue and the drowsiness for 2 weeks. That was the most abnormal thing you felt. So in terms of how extreme it was at one time, it was never anything I was concerned about. But the duration of it, how long it drug on and how long it took you to get back, was something I've never had before. So it's very that was my experience with it, and I'm sure everyone will have a different side or different story of it. But it was tough for a day, and then definitely got better after that.
I think when it comes time to naming a team MVP, I think JT Miller should get it in a landslide, because I got to admit to you, Brendan, I was appalled that the National Hockey League thought it would be all right for one practice to be held before you guys took the ice. Were you surprised that it took JT to speak the way that he did so honestly, and the fact that it had passed through so many channels that it was okay for you guys to play after one full practice? It blew my mind.
Yeah, I mean, I understand where you're coming from. I think, again, like I said, when I was at home, I looked at the schedule and I thought, well, that's going to be tough. But it wasn't until I came back to the rink and skated and really thought, maybe we need to rethink this a bit. And I think the NHL's done a good job, like I said, with the protocols, putting things in place to get the team back on the ice as soon as possible. I think talking to our team, our doctors and our medical experts, once they figured out, the infectious disease part of it, we want to make sure, first of all, it's not going to continue spreading. We can kind of end it and move forward. Once we got that figured out, I think they kind of came up with that, kind of 14-day period we get back on the ice and get the games rolling. Hearing what I think New Jersey and maybe Buffalo went through earlier this year, they had a similar thing. A lot of guys got it. Seemed like they played pretty much 12 to 14 days later, if I'm not mistaken, and didn't have too many crazy issues. I think after talking with everybody about it, we realized that this variant, I guess, is what it ended up being, was just much more extreme symptoms. And guys on day 10, 12 still weren't feeling good. So that's where it became a thing of, we can't do this. We have to push it. We have to figure out a way to renegotiate this and give us some more time. So again, we're all learning new stuff every day. I'm sure the NHL is too, and everyone in the hockey world is doing what we can to move forward. And at the end of the day, we made a decision as a team, as an organization, that we needed some more time, and we weren't going to, force ourselves into an unsafe situation. So proud of everyone that's stepped up and made this happen.
Okay, we'll go to Farhan Lalji.
Brandon, I'm sure you guys heard that, Travis went through this in a pretty rough way as well. How good was it to see him back on the ice today?
Yeah, it was good. He definitely, of the guys that got it, he seemed like he had the toughest second half of the strain for sure. It was good to have him back out there yelling at us. It was a nice change. So a little bit of normalcy again. But you can tell he's feeling better. And again, I think, there's going to be it's going to take time for everyone to get, everything back on track and stuff. And he seems like, even seen him yesterday to today, he's a lot better. So everyone's kind of trending the right way.
Collectively, I know you said playing Toronto is going to be tough regardless, but collectively, do you guys think you can ice a competitive team at this stage, given the circumstances?
Yeah, for sure. Hey, you know what? To be honest with you, tomorrow it feels like you're kind of just playing the first game of a regular season. Doesn't matter when you're, even your first preseason game of the year. Your thought is, am I ready to play? Then you get out there and start skating, and you pick it up pretty quick. So, hey, we're going to put our best foot forward. We expect ourselves to be competitive, and just like we were throughout the season. And we played a lot of good hockey the months leading up to our break, and the expectation for us is to come out and pick that up again. So I don't see any reason right now why that isn't possible. And like I said, the way we've changed in 4 or 5 days is substantial. So I'm feeling confident in our group.
All right, and we'll take one last question for Brandon Sutter here from Jeff Patterson.
Hey, Brandon, good to see you. You talked about during your downtime that you were focused on family first, which makes perfect sense. But hockey is a business. Hockey goes on. You got through the trade deadline. I just wonder if that was any added layer of angst or concern for you. Your name had been out there, or did you have an assurance from the organization? Jim mentioned at one point that he didn't think he was going to be active at the deadline because of what all of you guys had been through.
Yeah. Well, I can't really speak to what Jim was deciding or going through. But any year, trade deadline's always a stressful time for a player. And obviously when you're on an expiring contract, it makes it that much more complicated. And when you're 32 years old, it makes it more complicated. So there's always going to be that stress factor. I had spoken to Jim a couple days prior to the deadline and talked about things a bit. So that made me feel a lot better. And from the beginning of the season to now, my status hasn't changed, that I want to stay here and be part of this group. And just happy that's continuing.
And just from the mental side of things, having a wife, I think you said 23 weeks pregnant, it's one thing for you to have it yourself, but what's that like to make sure that she and the baby are completely healthy?
Yeah, again, that's what I said was the hardest part of it all. The most stressful part of it all was you just didn't want to give it to your kids and your wife. And but my second day, my whole family had tested positive, so it was crazy. The nice part was I was able to be back in the house with them, and we were all together. So that was awesome. For my wife to do it by herself with the kids would have been a lot more challenging. So luckily everyone felt good. Speaking to my wife and her and the doctors and everybody, there was never a concern with the pregnancy side of it, which was great. And my wife's symptoms were mostly mild. I think the fatigue thing's kind of dragging on a bit, but all in all, happy it's over, happy we're through it. And like I said, we leaned on our medical team here and everyone to help us through it. And, we definitely got through it probably the best we could.
Okay. Thanks, Brandon, for your time. We'll leave